Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we have some news about some more Sega Genesis Mega Drive games coming to the Nintendo Switch online service. And we get an official confirmation for the House of the Dead remake coming to other systems. We have those and other topics to cover, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. That's the best way to let me know you enjoy the content on this channel. Now let's get started. So all throughout the day yesterday, we had a hint that we may be getting some more Sega Genesis games for the Nintendo Switch online service. And there was good reason for that. Let's take a look here what VGC had to say. Nintendo could be preparing to add new Sega Genesis games to its Nintendo Switch online service. And all of this comes from the Twitter account NinStatusBot. And what this bot does is report the maintenance windows for different Switch Online applications. And there was a maintenance scheduled for about 5 minutes until 9 p.m. Eastern. And sure enough, 5 minutes right after that, we get this tweet from Nintendo of America. 3 classic Sega Genesis games have just been made available for Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack members. Space Harrier 2, Shining Force 2, and Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. Now if you're not familiar with these, Shining Force 2 is a fairly good classic JRPG game, and Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball is a spin-off of the Sonic the Hedgehog series, and this is set in the world of the animated series. And you get to play through the levels trying to collect the Chaos Emeralds. And there's a boss in each of the 4 levels that have their own unique strategy to defeat. And Space Harrier 2 is a game where you play from behind the character and you're constantly progressing forward through sort of a 3D plane. And back when these games first came out, this sort of faux 3D gaming was pretty mind-blowing. So I would recommend all 3 of these. If you're subscribed to the expansion pack, go ahead and give them a try and let me know what you think. So if you remember a few weeks ago, we had a leak about the House of the Dead remake coming out for other systems. Well, it's finally officially confirmed. The zombie outbreak spreads. The House of the Dead remake will release on additional platforms on April 28th. Then they list Steam, GOG, Xbox, PlayStation, and Google Stadia, believe it or not. So this pretty much matches what we were seeing before, pretty close. This was the screenshot that I took from the Xbox store. And you can see here it has pre-order available on the 27th, which is the day before. But as of the recording of this video, the House of the Dead remake doesn't show up on the Xbox store. So this was an obvious oops they made when they originally got it ready. But I would imagine the pre-order will probably show up on the 27th by the latest. That way you can go ahead and pre-order and have it download and be ready to play. And finally, let's take a look at the most recent weekly sales from Famitsu coming out of Japan. On the software side, we actually have 4 new entries, and 2 of them is the same game, but just for different systems. We still have Kirby and the Forgotten Land in first place. And then we have 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim coming in second, and that's a new entry. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and then Winning Post 9 2022, and that's like a horse racing simulator. That's in 4th place, and again in 6th place for the PS4. And then between those 2 is Battle Spirits Connected Battlers, which is from the Battle Spirits card game franchise. And then the rest of the titles are all familiar faces: Minecraft, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and Ring Fit Adventure. And then over on the hardware sales, we have the Switch family of systems in the top 3. And then followed by the PlayStation 5, and you have the Xbox Series systems between that and the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition. And I wanted to take a little closer look at the sales numbers this week versus the same week last year. I think this chart really helps to show how supply constraints are really affecting sales. So in the first column we have this week, the second column was just last week, and then the third column was a year ago. So these are the combined sales for the different families of the systems. So you can see the Switch sold about 34,000 more last year, which is over 50% more than it's selling now. But it's with the PS5 that you see a huge difference. You basically see half the sales now compared to what it was doing a year ago. But one thing I find kind of interesting is the Xbox Series systems selling a whole lot more than it did a year ago. Now this just could have been a supply restraint on that particular week for the Xbox, but it does make me wonder how many people can't get a PS5 because it's obviously more popular in Japan and just settled for an Xbox Series system. So as of right now, there doesn't seem to be any relief on the supply constraints. And it's interesting how we have a PS4 game in the 6th place of the top software sales this past week. Now granted, there was not a PS5 version, but we've even seen the PS4 version still outsell the PS5. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we talk about catch your attention? Are you planning to pick up House of the Dead for a system other than the Switch? Or were you surprised to see just how affected the sales are for the PlayStation 5 because of supply restraints? Drop a comment about that or anything else we covered today. I want to thank you for watching, have a great weekend, and be good.